Well, hey there, it's Don again, and it's a week since I started on the sailboat kind of restoration project. Last weekend I went out and worked on that thing a little bit, and it was 60 degrees on Saturday and 8 inches of snow on Sunday. So this weekend it's in the 60s again. It's Saturday. I'm going to go work on the boat for a while. Hopefully I'm not going to jinx myself and wind up with snow again tomorrow, but we'll see. This is Utah and it's spring, so anything can happen. So let's get out of here and go work on the sailboat again. The only support for this thing is this little board right here, and so you can see, and maybe you can see, this is pretty bouncy. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to glass in a 2x4 or something right here to give this thing a little support, and then I may go get another sheet of 3/8 inch plywood and just cut it to match this. Cut the same holes out, clamp it together and glue the crap out of it, and then glass it to the edge out here. Okay, well, just in case you were having trouble visualizing what I was talking about, there's my support for the bench. Much better. So what I'm going to do is sand that down to the bare fiberglass so I can glass that in, and then I'm gonna put a couple of stainless steel screws through there and then to head over to the other side. Okay, one down. I'm having thoughts about putting another board this way. At a 90 to that one, but that thing's in. A couple of 2¼ or 2½ inch stainless screws holding it in place, ready to be glassed in there. So let's go to the other side. What a wiring nightmare. Okay, so what I've done is I've just taken some big grid paper and laid it out to basically take the shape of what this board needs to be. I took my pencil and just traced the holes so I can cut those out. And then I've just gone along the edge with a pencil and just drawn my line down there. So should be have my pattern here. So now I'll just roll this up, take it up and trim my line there. Everything else is good to follow straight edges on the back and on the front and along this edge here. And then I'll lay this on my piece of plywood and just cut it. And then hopefully this will be relatively close to the other side. I can use the same pattern over there. So there we go. Okay, well, I brought the pattern into the house, laid it on the countertop here and trimmed it. So I think that worked out pretty well. You can see the doors pretty well here once I'm sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go lay this on a sheet of plywood. I'm just going to trace my outside rounded edge here, cut it, take it up in there, see how it fits, see if I can get it in there or if I'm going to have to split it somewhere. Hopefully not, but if I do, I'll go right about here so that I'm leaving myself equal distance between the doors here. And It's not equidistant to the piece of plywood. It's much less room here to the front than there is to the back, but we'll see how it goes. So the first thing like I do, like I said, is I'm just going to take this and lay it on a sheet of plywood, just like that, and trim my rounded edge, and see if I can manhandle that thing up into the boat that way, and I can get it in place. Hopefully I won't get it in place once and never get it out. And then I'll see about cutting out the doors. So cruising right along. Okay, well, it fits. And as it turns out, it wasn't all that tough to get it in there. I had to trim it a smidge back on the back, but I'll fill that if I glass it in. But it's there and should be good. Okay, so I'm getting close. I must have been smoking some dope when I cut that one. Somehow I'm 3 inches bigger than that hole. But it's a little tight over on that edge, so I've got a gap here. So I think well, I can't figure out what I did wrong, but evidently I'm a little too tight along there. So I'm going to pick it up, take my belt sander, sand an angle along there, see if I can get it to sit down a little tighter, but not too terribly bad. I'm pretty close on this hole, and that one's bigger, if anything, so that won't hurt. Bigger's okay. Smaller was going to be a pain in the butt if I had to cut it again. So I don't feel like this is going along too bad right now. All right, well, it's Saturday, and it's still moving along on this project, but I put the board that I cut down here, and I was trying to figure out why it was so far off from the board underneath. So that's the problem. Let's see if we can see that. I can stick my finger under this here, and it's touching on both sides. So that just shows you how much of a sag there is in the middle of this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shim up that board that I put down underneath here. Raise this up a little bit, see if I can get it more level. Then I'll put my other board down, make sure it looks like it's got a little bit of a bow the other direction. But I think once everything's clamped and so forth, it'll be okay. So that's the problem I'm trying to solve. And I probably should have done this before I put that board in to begin with, so I knew how big of a sag I was dealing with. So anyway, that's what we're going to fix today. Okay, so this is a lesson in let's plan this a little better. So you can see now we're much closer to level, or at least straight across. And I basically put back in everything I cut off of that 2x8. Now, maybe everything I cut off to get this thing leveled back up, but I think I got it now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do one last sanding bit on all that wood. Make sure I'm going to get a good bond with my wood glue, and I'm going to bring in that piece right there and glue that bad boy down today. Let's see how we do. Might as well just get started.
Okay, so I'm a little bit new to this YouTube thing, and I didn't realize that it's against the YouTube law to have something playing in the background that's copyrighted music. So while I was working on the boat, I had my phone hooked up to my little portable speaker thing, and I was listening to some Pink Floyd when I was recording one of these tracks. And so I've now violated the copyright, and it won't let you see that video. So here I am anyway on the other side of the boat. You can see this sag in the middle of this one was even worse than the starboard side. did the same thing, cut my wood, got it all sorted out up there, and we can move on to the process where we're gluing it in place, and things are rolling right along. So sorry for the overdub. I hate it as much as you do, but I'll get this YouTube thing figured out before all is said and done. So here we go.
Alright, well that was a pretty productive day. I got the plywood glued down on both sides of the benches, and as you can see in the video, man, those benches were just bowed. That's why every time I sat on them or laid down on them, it just felt like I was in a hammock. So I think this is going to be good. Hopefully the glue will set. The fiberglass work is still to go. I've got to glass those 2x4s or 2x8s in. And this will be my first time ever working with fiberglass and resin and stuff, so I figured down underneath there where it will be mostly hidden will be a good place to start. And then as I do those edges along both sides of the boat, I'll be, you know, kind of getting my feet under me at that point, and then I'll work on the rest of the interior of the boat. So really the interior is coming along quite well, and I think I'll finish up some of those issues with the water leakage up over the top, as will be kind of one of the next projects I'll tackle, get that sealed up, and then, you know what, I think I'm going to be about ready to stand the rigging back up and see how everything looks, to, you know, see where we're at to get the thing back in the water. So it's early in the spring. I'm taking advantage of every warm day I can. It was a great day today, and hopefully it'll be good again tomorrow, and I'll get some more stuff done. So thanks for watching, and here we go. We're keeping on this project. Thanks.